Hello all, welcome back to the Pyrox channel. Today in this series we'll be learning about the human digestive system. So I'll be breaking the whole digestive system into the respective parts, and I'll be making the short videos for you all so that it'll be easy for you all to revise it in a short period of time. Thank you. So today in this topic of the human digestive system, I'm starting it with the salivary glands. Okay, as you all are aware that our digestive system comprises of the alimentary canal as well as it has the accessory exocrine glands. Okay, so children, before I enter into my topic, I would like to introduce you this particular slide for the salivary glands. As you can see in the that is on the screen, as you're able to see these salivary glands over here. So where we're going to have three pairs of these salivary glands that are opening in the mouth cavity here. The one here that you're seeing just in front of the ears here is going to be the parotid gland, and the one which is going to be the at the angle of the lower jaw, and this is a medium sized one, and the largest is going to be the parotid glands, and the medium side, which is in the angle of lower jaw, is going to be the submaxillary, or as you're learning in your text as a submaxillary, this is a submandibular glands. And we have another gland which is just below the tongue that we are going to call as sublingual glands. So now what I'll do is I'll go into the details of this particular thing. So give me a moment for that, such that I'll start up the salivary glands in detail about their secretions, their compositions. Okay, so we'll be starting that. So as I told you that as we are starting today with the series of human digestive system, and we all know that the human digestive system is comprised of two things. One is going to be the alimentary canal, one is going to be the alimentary canal. Okay, and the other that we are going to see is going to be the accessory exocrine glands we have. Okay, and the other is going to be the accessory exocrine glands, and these glands are going to be the salivary glands. Okay, we have the salivary glands we have, and we even use our liver. Okay, and we are using the exocrine part of your pancreas. Okay, the exocrine part of the pancreas, and we even use the gallbladder, which is going to pour up the bile juice. So these are the parts of the human digestive system, children. So now, what is alimentary canal? Let us see. So alimentary canal is going to comprise of the parts from the mouth to that of the anus. Okay, this is the one that you can see, which is going to constitute your alimentary canal. So in this topic today, what we'll do is we'll be learning about the salivary glands. So this video is all about the salivary glands. So the salivary glands, as you could see that there are three different types of salivary glands. So three pairs. One is going to be the parotid glands, okay, and the other is going to be called as a submaxillary glands. Okay, these are the submaxillary glands. And the next we are going to have is the sublingual glands. Sublingual, sublingual glands we have. Okay. So here, usually the topics that are being asked during the examination is going to be at most about the location of these. As you could see in the slide, that parotid glands are present in front of the ears, right? In front of the ears, we can see. And this is in the angle of the lower jaw, angle of the lower jaw. And next is, this is just present below the tongue. So this is present below the tongue. And what else we can see is, if you look at the sizes of them, so who is the largest of all? So let me choose another color for you. So the one which is going to be largest is going to be this. right? And the medium size is going to be the submaxillary, and the smaller sized is going to be this particular one, the sublingual glands. Then the other thing that is being expected in the exams is going to be about the ducts of these respective, what we call as salivary glands. So if you look at the salivary glands here, the parotid glands, especially their duct is being called as Stenson's duct. This is Stenson's duct. Okay, they have the parotid glands are exocrine glands, right? So these are the exocrine glands. Who are exocrine glands? All the glands which pour their secretions through what? Through a duct, right? Through a tube. So let us write this for you. So the glands that pour their secretions, that pour their secretions through a duct. What is a duct? A tube are being called as what? Exocrine glands, right? So salivary glands are also exocrine glands. So obviously they are going to have the ducts. So the parotid glands are going to have the ducts named as Stenson's duct. And the submaxillary glands are going to have the Wharton's duct. They are going to have the Wharton's duct. And the sublingual gland is going to have the duct which is being called as the Rivinus duct. Rivinus duct. Otherwise, this Rivinus duct can also be called as a Bartholin's duct. Bartholin's duct we are going to call as. So these are all the different types of ducts that we are going to have. We have seen the slide of the location of these and the sizes we have seen. Now let us talk about their secretions. What is their secretion called as? It's been called as saliva. So let us learn about saliva now. So what will be the daily volume of the saliva? What an normal human produces in average is going to be at most 1.5 liters of saliva we secrete per day. Okay, this is there. And it is under the control of this. This is also another important thing that you need to discover this, that it is secreted under the control of your autonomic nervous system. Okay, it is secreted under influence of, or what we call is control. Control of whom? Autonomous or autonomous nervous system. Okay, autonomous nervous system. And children, remember that the secretion composition is going to be usually, it is hypotonic. Hypotonic in concentration, your saliva. What is hypotonic? Hypotonic is nothing but the amount of the concentration, that is the amount of the solutes here is less and it has more composition of the water. So we call it as hypotonic. And what will be the components of the saliva? And why are we studying it under the digestive system? Does it help in any digestion process? Is also another important question that we need to raise up. So children, yes, it does have some of the enzymes which help in digestion. So they are none other than the lingual lipase we have. It's one of the enzymes, as you know, ACEs are the enzymes, and this lipase is going to help in the digestion of the fats, right? And they are going to have the amylase which acts on the carbohydrates. And usually the amylase present here is being called as alpha amylase, or we call it as a tyalin. We call this as tyalin also. Okay, and we have lysozyme. Okay, we have is the lysozyme we have, which is going to be antimicrobial. It kills the bacteria. So this is antimicrobial lysozyme present in the saliva. And we have a few of the antibodies like immunoglobulin A. So these are also antibodies attacking the foreign antigens entering into the body through the food. Okay, and next we have is water. As you could see that it is hypotonic solution. So it's going to be more having the water, and it is going to even have some of the salts, and it has a little amounts of mucins. So remember children, the let me underline these with the blue color. So the mucins, the water, the salts, all these three togetherly, whichever I have underlined in the blue color, all these are going to be the lubricants actually making your food into bolus. Okay, making it more what you call is added up with the mucus and making it as lubricating it into a smooth paste like bolus. So these are responsible for that. And next thing that we have is children, what are the functions of our saliva? One thing is it is going to be helping in what we call is easy ingestion process because it is having the lubricants which softens the food that you are trying to chew. Okay. And secondly, it is having even the antimicrobial agents. So it is protecting you from these foreign agents, as well as it is helping in lubrication as they have the lubricants, right? So this is also seen. And next thing is it is going to help in cleaning also. And the second thing is this is also helping you in detecting the taste also. So these are all the functions of the saliva, about the composition of the saliva. We are having this in our syllabi in the NCRT about the ptyalin. Okay, we are not covered up with the lingual lipase. So in the further education you'll be learning about all these compositions. So children, just remember that this is under the control of the autonomous nervous system. Okay. And we could even see the ducts, which is one of the most important topics here. This table is going to fetch you some marks in the examination. This is about the salivary glands. I hope you all have understood, children. If you like this video, please do hit the like button and try to share my channel, subscribe my channel. Thank you all. Thank you.